AI, biglang nag-kiss ang former president at ang former senator, Laila de Lima. And I hope some of you were able to view that also. Pag-uwi ko po ng Batangas, at sabi nung magtataho, who's living in a very remote area, bati na pala si Duterte at si de Lima. If a person is caught while committing a crime, he can be arrested even by a private citizen without need of a warrant.
Yes, Your Honor. As a citizen arrest, Your Honor.
Okay. Mayroon pong fake information nakapost yung isang vlogger. Can it be considered as flagrante delicto? Ang dami pong vloggers without any concern at all about the possible consequences, about accountability, about liability. They just keep on posting fake news, proliferating fake news. And this is a clear illustration of caught in flagrante delicto, which warrantless arrest. For as long as the person is committing a crime, even private citizen can arrest without need of a warrant. To continue, Mr. Chair, I think everybody agrees that we all recognize the freedom of speech, the freedom of the press, the freedom of expression as one of the primordial constitutional guarantees. However, kagaya po ng sinabi ng ating esteemed colleagues, ang lahat ng batas, ang lahat ng karapatan ay hindi absolute. It has to be subjected to restriction. And as I was listening to our hearing today, since this morning, I can already conceive the magnitude of the danger, the problem that we are facing right now. As a matter of fact, Mr. Chair, talking about internet, talking about cyberspace, unlike ordinary crimes, dito, it is difficult to define territoriality because cyberspace, internet is boundless. And that is the challenge, the biggest challenge that we are facing right now. As a matter of fact, I wish to share one perfect illustration. Nakakatawa po kasi dumaan din sa news feed ko in one of the social platforms. Through AI, biglang nag-kiss ang former president at ang former senator, Laila de Lima. And I hope some of you were able to view that also. Pag-uwi ko po ng Batangas, at sabi nung magtataho, who's living in a very remote area, bati na pala si Duterte at si de Lima. So, that's how they influence people in the grassroots. And the question is, how do we correct the effect of wrong information? What if this wrong or fake information pertains to matters of national security? Ayaw nating mag-engage ng war, but because of fake news, somebody triggered and initiated some of us to engage in an activity which we have been really opposing and avoiding. Mr. Chair, amid all the challenges that everybody is presenting in today's hearing, I think everybody will agree that time is of the essence. Napapanahon na po for all of us to address the proliferation of fake news. It affects not only our personal interest, it could also affect national interest and even world's interest. With that, Mr. Chair, I have questions for DICT, and I wish I could get a very clear answer. Tayo po ba ay may jurisdiction sa social media platforms? By social media platforms, we are talking about Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. At least, ito po yung prominently used by Filipinos. May jurisdiction po ba ang Philippine courts over social media platform?
Sir, let me qualify my answer since this was directed to the ICT. With regard to regulation, we do not regulate social media platforms. We do not have any mandatory powers over them nor oversight powers over them. With regard to courts, Your Honor or Mr. Chair, I think that is better answered by the lawyers, the DOJ here.
Linawin po natin, sir, yung inyong naging response. When it comes to regulatory power of the ICT, walang jurisdiction ang DICT over social media platforms. And your basis is the charter of the ICT. Do you confirm this?
Sir, yes, Your Honor.
Now we go to NBI perhaps, or the DOJ if we have resource persons from DOJ. May jurisdiction po ba ang Philippine courts over the social media platforms?
Well, good afternoon, Your Honor. Philippine courts doesn't have any jurisdiction over social media platforms for the reason that these social media platforms operates under different jurisdiction. And we have the principle
By
of
different jurisdiction, ano pong ibig sabihin natin? Do you mean outside the Philippine territory?
yes, Your Honor, the servers of these platforms are outside the Philippine territory, Your Honor.
Nonetheless, how do they operate within the country in as far as using the cyberspace is concerned?
Well, the operation is through the internet, so internet is accessible to everyone.
And we have no way to regulate that.
I think the regulation should be better addressed by the DICT who has jurisdiction over matters of telecommunications.
As to regulation, the DICT, I believe, has answered already. Wala sa mandato nila ang regulation ng social media platforms. But I hope you realize, parang continuing yung crime eh. While it is being committed outside, the perpetration is happening even inside the Philippine territory. Yes, you really have to rely on your mandate on existing laws, pero meron po tayong principle sa batas, yung tinatawag nating continuing crime. And I would like to raise this legal question, whether posting malinformation, disinformation, fake news, notwithstanding the fact that the social platform is outside the Philippine territory, but the post can be seen inside our country, can this be not considered as a continuing crime? TOJ, please.
Ma'am, Your Honor, on the part of the law enforcement, we adhere to the duality or doctrine of duality of crimes. So under the duality of crimes, since most social media platforms are owned by other countries, we also need to consider whether the crimes that are punishable here in the Philippines are also punishable in other countries who own the social media platforms.
And can you explain that? How does it work, the duality of crime?
Jurisdictional, ma'am. That's jurisdictional, Your Honor.
All right, so how
if
do
it's
you
not
apply it in
punishable-
as far as our challenges here in the Philippines is concerned?
The country where the social media platform is located does not really react to our requests or does not really care about our requests because the law that is punishable here in the Philippines is not punishable under their jurisdiction. So, basically, as a consequence, we cannot request information from those social media platforms as it is not congruent with our international law and law on data privacy, depending on the country where the social media platform
What
is
you are
based.
saying, sir, if I may interrupt, what you are saying is, if cybercrime is punishable here, cybercrime is not punishable in the place where the social media platform is located. Is that what you mean?
It depends on the kind of cybercrime, Your Honor. So, for instance,
Please expound.
cyber libel is punishable here in the Philippines, but it is not punishable in the U.S.
And where are these social media platforms located?
The biggest social media platform, such as Meta, is located in the US.
That at least we can have something to start on.
Yes, Your Honor.
Identify which countries have similar law which punishes similar crimes in the Philippines.
Yes, Your Honor.
Tama ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
And with your statement, does it mean na halimbawa ang cybercrime is punishable in a foreign country, cyber libel, punishable in a foreign country, punishable in the Philippines as well, even when the social media platform is in the foreign country, pwede ba natin din silang i-include dun sa case to be filed inside the country?
Yes, Your Honor, because there is already mutuality between the countries.
So in other words, we can acquire jurisdiction by way of duality of jurisdiction. Following your explanation, DOJ, kapag parehas ang batas ng Pilipinas at ng foreign country where the social media platform is located,
Yes.
we can acquire jurisdiction. Do you confirm that?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, kindly state for the record, nasan po yung Facebook?
May I clarify, Your Honor?
Yes, DOJ.
Actually, I'm from the NBI, Your Honor. Actually, Your Honor, we do not acquire jurisdiction over the social media platform. We can only do requests. And the request we do is granted if the crime, which is the basis of the request, is also punishable in their jurisdiction.
Yes, that is the duality of jurisdiction.
Yes, Your Honor. But
What is your basis in saying that we cannot acquire jurisdiction over the social media platform, notwithstanding the fact that both countries have the same law punishing the same crime? Because I believe when we say duality of jurisdiction, it means that we can acquire jurisdiction as well.
Your Honor, good afternoon. I am the OIC Director for the Office of Cybercrime, Your Honor, an attached agency of the Department of Justice. Your Honor, as to the issue on jurisdiction, actually there is a way where we can acquire jurisdiction if there is a cyber warrant issued to a particular platform, but the limitation of that cyber warrant pertains only to computer data or informations that are stored in the or being held by these platforms to be produced or provided to us in relation to a particular case already filed in court, Your Honor.
Hindi ba, sir, lahat naman ng napopost talaga ay incorporated in the data which are being kept by the social media platform? So I wish to believe na lahat ng lumalabas sa social media platform ay part and parcel ng data ng social media platform which is foreign-based. Tama po ba yun?
Yes, Your Honor. I agree with your statement, Your Honor. But there are also some instances like dito po yung pumapasok yung retention, Your Honor, where kunyari sa Pilipinas po sa atin, if we have a particular, if our law requires a particular number of months or years for that platform to retain all those informations, we can.
We are now qualifying our answer now. CICC, right? No? Let's go to the basic question. Kaya po ba nating mag-acquire ng jurisdiction over the social media platform? Please do not qualify your answer first. Tun muna po tayo sa general rule. Kaya po ba o hindi? Because you were mentioning already about the cyber warrant, cybercrime warrant.
Your Honor, that's a very difficult question. Kasi crimes are jurisdiction. The definition of whether an act is a crime or not is jurisdictional.
I understand.
So, without qualifying,
Pero
maybe we
kanina,
can write a position paper on this.
kanina you were discussing already about the duality of jurisdiction doctrine, and I humbly submit that with that doctrine, I think there's a possibility for us to acquire jurisdiction over social media platform.
Your Honor, may I also, in addition to what was stated by Yusek Jeffrey, there is also a matter, Your Honor, or a question if the social media platform actively participated in a perpetration of a crime. So, kung actively participatory po siya, there's...
If I may interrupt, sir, cybercrime law, to distinguish it from the crimes defined under the revised penal code, is considered as a special law. Do you agree? O, di ba? That's where the distinction lies between mala inse and mala prohibita. And when we speak about mala prohibita, what does it say? We do not care about malice. The only question is whether the crime is committed or otherwise. Tama po ba yun?
Yes, Your Honor, we totally agree with that, Your Honor.
Yes, but you were discussing about knowledge, about participation in the perpetration of the cyber libel or cybercrime. Parang medyo contradictory po yun doon sa konteksto ng mala prohibita or malum prohibitum. I understand that the question is difficult, but at least we were able to discuss initially the duality of jurisdiction doctrine, which I hope you will be able to render a legal position paper. And in relation to that duality jurisdiction doctrine, I remember that my question started with the concept of continuing crime. Can you please shed light? Hindi po ba ito pwede i-consider na continuing crime?
As long as the malicious post is still active,
Yes.
Your Honor.
So you agree?
Yes, Your Honor, we agree.
So
That
if
it's still a
this can be
continuing crime.
considered as a continuing crime, the one who posts here is liable, and the server who makes possible the posting while it is based in foreign country can also be held liable. The question is difficult again. And of course, I appreciate that the Honorable Roman already requested to invite a constitutionalist to help us understand how we go about this. I just wish to submit that this cybercrime law was drafted, passed, and approved with the knowledge in mind that cyberspace is boundless, internet is boundless, and perpetrators are not confined only in the Philippine territory, but even outside. So, I wish to believe that the drafters of this law considered the possibility of indicting as well the perpetrators who are based in the foreign country. That is a manifestation, Mr. Chair. And to proceed, Mr. Chair, I wish to state for the record before I proceed that this representation is requesting the DOJ to render a legal position with respect to the two issues raised already, the duality of jurisdiction doctrine and the concept of continuing crime. And for my last question, sa atin pong pag-aaral ng batas, mayroon po tayong tinatawag na warrantless arrest. Konting review lang po. Ano po ba yung mga instances when arrest without warrant is allowed? TOJ?
Yes, Your Honor. In the rules of court, Your Honor, the instances that warrants a warrantless arrest, Your Honor, is if a particular crime is being committed and the police officer has actual knowledge of or actual knowledge of the perpetration of the crime, Your Honor, the law enforcement can actually conduct the arrest of the subject without the necessity of a warrant, Your Honor.
DOJ, you will agree with me, we call it the doctrine of flagrante delicto.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. If a person is caught while committing a crime, he can be arrested even by a private citizen without need of a warrant.
Yes, Your Honor. As a citizen arrest, Your Honor.
Okay. Mayroon pong fake information, nakapost yung isang blogger. Can it be considered as flagrante delicto? Yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. For as long as the fake news is still posted. The one who posted it is in flagrante delicto. So the question now to the law enforcement, can we effect an immediate arrest, considering that the one who posted is caught in flagrante delicto?
Yes, Your Honor, as long as the attribution could be established.
Mr. Chair, ang dami po ng vloggers na can be considered caught in flagrante delicto, and I find it strange. Walang inaaresto ang ating law enforcement agency. I do not subscribe to the opinion that our laws are insufficient. I wish to submit that the drafters of these laws considered already indicting even people outside the Philippine territory, considering that we're talking about cyberspace, considering that we're talking about internet, which horizon and territory is boundless. And going back to the doctrine of flagrante delicto, the biggest question is, ang dami pong bloggers without any concern at all about the possible consequences, about accountability, about liability. They just keep on posting fake news, proliferating fake news. And this is a clear illustration of caught in flagrante delicto, which warrants warrantless arrest. Bakit po walang ginagawa ang ating law enforcement agency?
Okay, we will reply. NBI.
Yes, Mr. Chair. So for that question, Mr. Chair, as I already discussed a while ago, ang meron lang po tayo ngayon is cyber libel na batas. And Article 154 of the Revised Penal Code, if I may read, Mr. Chair. So doon po sa Article 154, meron po tayong unlawful use of means of publication and unlawful utterances. Number 1 po doon, any person who by means of printing, lithography, or any other means of publication shall publish or cause to be published as news any false news which may endanger the public or cause damage to the interest of the credit of the state. Yun lang po ang dalawang batas na pwede natin gamitin if we conduct a law enforcement operation or file of case. But the problem is, this case is a personal crime. Kailangan po may private complainant po na magrereklamo, and it will be the basis for the arrest.
Sir, I wish to go back to the concept of flagrante delicto. Doon po ba sa flagrante delicto, naghihintay ho ba ang police ng complainant? I don't think so. For as long as the person is committing a crime, even private citizen can arrest without need of a warrant. Mr. Chair, I believe that the questions is quite legally debatable already. So I would appreciate listening on the next hearing to our invited constitutionalist. I conclude, Mr. Chair.